Okay, hello everyone. This is Cameron Fink, Director of Sales with American Home Builders of West Africa, also known as Jobomax. Today we're sitting down with our CEO and co-founder, Jonathan Halloran, to discuss our new model, the Washington Bungalow. Would you mind introducing yourself, Jonathan?
Yes, thanks, Cameron. As Cameron mentioned, my name is Jonathan Halloran, and I am one of the co-founders of American Home Builders. Have been with the company since we started about almost 7 years ago now.
That's great, thank you. So today we're talking about the new Washington Bungalow model that we're introducing here in October 2020. Could you tell us a little bit about this new house and who came up with this new model? Who designed it?
Well, I think that it's very fair to say that our clients designed this model, and what this model is the result of us getting a lot of feedback from our customers on what they like about our houses and what their aspirations are and what their dream home is. And so with feedback that you've received, Cameron, you've received a lot, and I've received, and others on the team have received, as well as kind of a lot of our own thoughts as well in a collaboration with our architect, we came up with the model that we think meets the needs of a very large portion of the customers who have talked to us about what they're looking for. So while it's been a collaboration with our architects, our engineers, and our sales team, and our marketing team, and our operations team, I really like to think of this as this model was designed by Guineans and the Guinean diaspora.
So how do you take those comments and suggestions that we hear from so many different people and turn them into a design? That sounds very complicated.
It is and it isn't. I mean, I think it's just like most things in life. You have to listen and really listen to what someone's saying, because sometimes when they ask for, straightforward. People say they like to have a large parental suite, so the room for the owner's suite, that's important, that there's a big space there. And some people who live in apartments in New York or in Paris, and they don't have that at home or in their where they're living right now, when they go back home, they really want to have that space. So that's fairly straightforward. Other things, it's asking questions and really kind of getting down to what problem are they trying to solve and what makes them feel most comfortable in their home, and what are their hopes and dreams. And sometimes that's a little bit abstract, and then we have to work with our architecture team to turn that into floor plans and architectural designs.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the architecture team?
So we work with a couple of architects. The primary architect for this model is Touro Design, who is based in Abidjan. It is an Americo-Ivoirian team. So Terry, one of the founding principal, is from the United States, but has lived in Abidjan for about 20 years, and he runs the second biggest architecture practice in Côte d'Ivoire. We've collaborated on a few models in the past, and this one was really exciting because, as I said, it was a lot of ideas from our customers, some ideas from his side, and some ideas from our team too.
So between those three, that is the ideas from our customers, American Home Builders ideas, and the architectural firm ideas, can you give me some specific examples about how the new Washington model reflects some of those desires? What are some specific features that it includes?
Sure. So I'll start with one of the biggest ones, which is a separate annexes that include a suite with a bathroom and a shower and bathroom and a bedroom for visitors. So as we know, many of our customers, they love having their home, they love having their family and their friends come visit, but it's really nice to keep the privacy of the main home so that visitors who arrive can have their own place outside in the courtyard and can come and visit with the family and with the residents, but maybe maintain the privacy, particularly in the bedroom area. And taking that a step farther, when you look at the bedrooms of this house, there's a very specific demarcation line between the main house and the living space, the living room and the dining room and the kitchen, and then where the bedroom areas are, which are quite private. In fact, we can even install a door so that there's a door between the hallway to the bedrooms and the rest of the living space. So those are examples of some of the things that our customers have really asked for and that we've responded with this design.
And that's a conversation I've had with a lot of clients about our Philadelphia duplex model. With that house, there's one guest bedroom downstairs, but then the family bedrooms and the family bathrooms are all upstairs. So there's a very strong division between the area where you receive guests and the area that is set aside for the family. And that's something that people seem to really appreciate.
model just takes that a step further by actually putting that out in the courtyard, in a space where the guests can have their privacy and so can the family. So I think this is really, as you point out, it's something that a lot of people like about the Philadelphia model, which is also designed by Turo Design. And then this new model, I think, is going to make them even happier in that way.
So, of course, many of our clients are based outside of Guinea, and some of them have been living in the States or in Europe or Australia or elsewhere for decades. So would you say that the Washington model is an American style house, or a Ghanaian or a West African style house, or something in between?
You know, we like to think that this has taken the best of both. So if we think about our diaspora clients live a couple of different lives in some ways. So they have the life that they live in Belgium or France or wherever they're living. Then they have their nationality, where they go back to Guinea and they're going back home. But at the same time, many of them have gotten used to a certain style of life. So for example, this model includes a European kitchen as a way of as kind of a nod to that life in the West that they've gotten used to, and maybe cooking at a stove as opposed to over charcoal. And yet it has an African kitchen outside, so that if Tanti or if mom shows up and she wants to cook, she probably doesn't want to stand in front of a stove in the kitchen. She has her charcoal fire and she wants a nice space to do that, where she can visit maybe with her grandchildren or maybe with some other guests outside in a way that she's accustomed to doing. So that kind of mix is really important to our architecture because it's important to our clients.
Of course, and even the example that you just gave of the two kitchens, you can have one that the family uses while guests are using the other kitchen at the same time if necessary.
Absolutely. So that kind of mix of African and Western life is really at the heart of what we're trying to do here in this design.
So another interesting part about this house is that it's a villa. It's a single story home, like our Chicago model was. Many times people are looking for a duplex when they're looking to build a house back home, but of course we also get asked to build villas all the time. Why do you think a client would want a single story villa instead of a duplex or a house with multiple stories?
So you're absolutely right, Cameron. And when we talk about our clients designing it, obviously we have thousands of clients and each of them has individual needs. And so when we look at people who are retiring and maybe don't want to climb stairs every night to go up to their bedroom, or maybe they're not completely ambulatory, they are going to prefer the villa bas or the bungalow style that we'll see in this model. And I think that's a really nice thing. It's easy to get around if you don't find it as easy to climb stairs. And yet it's quite spacious at the same time. So I think this model may appeal more to some of the people who are retired, maybe some people with smaller children as well that don't want to worry about stairs. But at the same time, this model can work for a lot of different kinds of families.
That sounds great. So can you tell me how this model compares to the Chicago model? What's the differences? They're both 3-bedroom villas, but there's some important differences too, right?
Yeah, so I think one of the most important differences is that purpose-built 4th bedroom outside for visitors or guests. Of course, that could be used for families. I have a teenager at home and know that he would probably rather have his own place outside as well. But I think that it kind of has a great fit in adding that 4th bedroom. So that 4th bedroom is an important feature to a lot of our clients. I think the other things that make this model a little different from the Chicago is that it has a special purpose-built dining room. So a lot of people have asked for, the Chicago has a very big open salon, which has a dining space and then a living space. And this one has a separate salon and a dining room as well. And that's something that people like. It has the option of being open to the kitchen or a separate closed off interior kitchen. So those are kind of features that people like. I think the bedrooms in this model are also bigger. The parental suite is bigger. The 2nd and 3rd bedrooms are bigger as well. And those are feedback that we've gotten. You're going to find that the hallways are compact, and I shouldn't say compact, they're just very efficient use of space. What I love most about this model personally is that every square meter is well used, and it's going to be a great living space. There's no wasted space in this home, and it's a very nice design, and it's very thoughtful about how people actually use their homes.
Sure, and I think looking at these differences, hearing all of the details that are different between the Chicago and the Washington. I mean, the Chicago was the first model that American home builders ever built. It's been 7 years now, is that right?
6 years, yeah, since we
6 years.
first. Yep.
So we had the Chicago, the Atlanta, the Columbus, the Philadelphia, and this is 5 models later. We've learned a lot. We've made changes. We've listened to our clients. We've worked with Turo, with Turo Design to come up with a new model that, like you said, is more efficient and features all of these desires that our clients have expressed to make their dream house.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, every day we learn something new, and every day we make improvements. So it's quite natural that we would continue to improve. I believe that there's a lot of people who love the Chicago model. There's a lot of people who love the aesthetics of it and are going to keep choosing it. And we are happy to keep building that house for people who want it. This will appeal to many of those people. It will appeal to other people as well. So we're really trying to make sure that we can offer the right products for the people who come to us. So not everybody is going to want one type of design, and we're happy to have several different designs for people to choose from.
Of course. Now, you touched briefly before on the Parental Suite. Can you tell me a little bit more about what all that includes?
Yeah, so a couple of the things that I was really excited when I saw this initial design sketch was that the Parental Suite has a number of the key features that our clients have asked for in an owner's suite. The first one is a very large bedroom area. I think it's about 17 square meters, so it's quite a large space. The second is kind of an in-suite dressing area. So there's a number of people who find that really important to have a separate dressing zone. It has an in-suite bathroom. So inside the owner's suite is a bathroom with a bathtub. That can be done as a shower as well for those who prefer. And then its own sliding doors giving out to a small private terrace and back. So it really is a refuge. So we've talked about that privacy that is so important to so many of our customers. So the first level is maybe the guests who have their own suite outside. The second level is that the bedrooms are very separate from the living space within the house. And the third is that the owner's suite is really kind of an independent space by itself. And so if you really need a retreat and you really need to escape a little bit, you can just kind of go back there and be on your own. And I think that's appealing to a lot of our customers who really want to escape the hustle and bustle sometimes.
Of course. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think part of that, like you said, is easy access to outside. So can you tell me a little bit about those terraces?
Yeah, sure. So this house has a nice front terrace for receiving guests, so a bigger space where you can put a couple of chairs out there. And it's really important in African life to receive visitors. And it's very often that people just will receive them on the terrace, and to have that kind of space that's covered from the rain, so you're not going to get wet in the rainy season, and also protected from the sun. So there's a really nice entertaining space in the front of the house, which also makes for a really nice facade, and it's very attractive as well. So it's practical and attractive both. And then there's a back terrace which gives off of the master suite, so that again you could put a chair out there, maybe read a book in the morning or have your coffee out there. It's really an ideal place to have quiet refuge in the back of the house, which will be a lot quieter than the front courtyard. And so for the owner who really wants their privacy and lots of space for relaxing by themselves, all of that is there in kind of in suite.
You mentioned the facade of the house. Can you tell me a little bit about the green or ecological features that we have in this home?
So it's one of the really exciting things about this model for me is that we've committed to reducing the carbon dioxide footprint of our homes over time. And one of the first steps that we've taken here is by including some compressed earth blocks. So these are very high-tech building materials that have been developed over the last 10 to 15 years. And we're using them really in the facade as an architectural feature, which really makes for a beautiful look, not dissimilar to some of the brick homes that you would see both in Europe and in the United States from a century ago. And so it has that kind of really nice look to it. But they also are very significant reduction in the amount of carbon dioxide that goes into cement production, because there is cement in them, but it's a much lower quantity than in the CMU blocks or the crépissage that we use for mortaring. So by creating this really nice architectural feature, we've also reduced our carbon footprint and really doing our part to reduce releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere is a cause of global warming. One of the other features is having a shed roof, which gives water into a water retention area, so that rainwater is collected and stored and then distributed throughout the ground, as opposed to running off into the street.
That's so important.
It is. I mean, the streets, and if anyone has visited West Africa and has seen a lot of streets with lots of erosion or canals that overflood, this is a way to really control that, so that we're doing our part again to help the environment.
And were these ideas, the bricks and the different ways of letting out the water, is that something that came from our team or our team in Guinea or our clients or the architects? Where did these ideas come from?
They come from a little bit of everywhere. Some of these things are near and dear to my heart. The environmental issues and trying to drive a better way to build is something that's really important to me personally. Our architect is really interested and involved in these things. And of course, there are many of our customers who have voiced their concerns and their appreciation for us taking a stand with the environment and really helping to protect the environment. So I'd say this was a collaboration that everybody feels good about.
And especially with something like the drainage of the rainwater, the way that we build in entire neighborhoods and entire residential areas, as opposed to one house on one person's land, really lends itself to sort of a shared idea with shared spaces, shared roads, shared green spaces, like in our Dumboya development, that mean that it's really important for us to make sure that no one house is, for example, flooding the other houses or causing issues like that. We really want it to be a neighborhood that everyone has a stake in.
Absolutely. So these are community problems, and they call for community solutions. And so when we can show some leadership in helping to create solutions for things like stormwater runoff and for the degradation of the environment by planting more trees to hold the soil and to create general greenhouse gas capture and other things. Those are, that's the kind of leadership that I think our customers expect from us, and it's the kind of community they want to live in. And so sometimes they're not specifically demanding it, but I think that they really appreciate it when they see it. And I'll just give you an example. There's in our Dumboya community, there's a large mango tree in front of one of our houses that the average home builder or developer would have just knocked down as part of the process of clearing, because it would have been easier to build with that tree down. I can tell you that home buyer really appreciates the shade, the soil retention, and the delicious fruit that come from that tree. And that's the kind of thing that would take 20 years to just pop up now if you wanted to get it to the point it's at, or maybe 30 years. And so, that might not have been something that somebody would have said, oh, that's a great feature of this house when we were kind of just building it. But as they see over time, they appreciate our thoughtful process around being good stewards of the environment.
Of course. So we've mentioned the Dumboya location a couple times now. I think it's important to let everyone know that we will be building the Washington bungalow model at the Dumboya location. Some people might have thought we would wait until a new location. Tell me a little bit about why you're in a hurry to get going with the new bungalow model.
Well, first of all, our team in Guinea is just so excited about this model. They played a big role in the design of it, the engineering, the architecture. And so they just can't wait to put a shovel in the ground. So while we're still constantly, we'll continue to tweak our designs over time, as we do with all of our models. There's nothing like that feeling of seeing the dirt fly. So because we've got a few parcels available as of now in October 2020 in Dumboya, we want to take advantage of those and get a couple of these houses built, because there's nothing like seeing the real thing.
Of course. And right now, of course, we're featuring these 3Ds, these images of the house that we have from our architecture team, but soon we'll have real pictures of the first ones built so that everyone can see and take a virtual tour, just like our other models.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me sometimes when we build our houses and people say, is that a rendering? We say, no, that's the house. And they say, well, it looks exactly like the rendering. Well, and our architect will say this too, that the finished house usually looks a little better than the rendering, but because we're going to take that kind of care and attention. But we're excited about looking at the plans and the design, and we're excited about seeing this house go up.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just that it's always a pleasure to talk about architecture, and sometimes in the day-to-day of managing the business, we don't get to talk about some of the fun things. But really, architecture for us has to be a response to our clients and their needs and their hopes and their dreams. And our job is to make the dreams of our clients come true. And we hope that this model does that, and we think it will, because we've heard so many good things and so many desires about what our customers want. So this is really exciting, and we are looking forward to building.
And I think we can let everyone note as well that we will also be interviewing Terry Turo, the principal architect for this project, next week. So if anyone is hearing this video and has any more questions specifically about the architecture of the new home, please let us know. We're happy to pass this along and make sure that you understand all that you would like to about the process and the design and the architecture of this new model.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Please, if you have any other questions, if you need details about pricing, if you're ready to sign up, anything else, all of our contact information is here below the page. Give us a call, sign up on our website, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere, and we're happy to help you however we can.